Good day, sweet world, and welcome to the Starters NBA All-Star Special live from the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. Shout out to everyone joining us live right now on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube. We're very pumped to have you. I am your 2017 dunk champ.
Whoa, rub it in right off the top.
You earned it. And to my right, as always, it's Tess Mellis.
Are you ready for some All-Star?
To my left, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis. Lily. And last, certainly not least, it's the bearded birthday boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! Happy birthday, TK.
33, Trey.
There you go.
It's going to be a big year for us.
How's the day been?
Oh, it's been great so far, you know, just hanging with my best friends, talking hoops.
Oh, man, we got a whole lot of hoops to talk about tonight. We're going to look back at, of course, on Saturday night's festivities. We'll break all those events down. We're going to show you Lily's feature from the 1987 NBA All-Star Game. Some say the greatest game ever played, the 30th anniversary.
Lee does.
Some at this table say that, yeah.
You definitely do. And
some is more than one person, so it's just probably just.
It's just Lee. And hopefully, fingers crossed here, seeing as it is your birthday, Trey, we might have a special guest in Guy Fieri.
For me?
Joining us live on set.
I couldn't ask for anything more on this special.
Well, let's hope it comes true.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's hope it comes true.
That's absolutely right. But first, we're looking ahead, of course, to the big game tonight on TNT. It is the 66th NBA All-Star Game. We get started. I mean, we got game time coming up after the starters.
We're starting right now.
And, you know, the Auto Trader tip-off before the big game on TNT. I mean, you're covered throughout the night here.
It's like the Super Bowl. We got like 5 hours of previews, baby.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said good day, sweet world, because it's literally the day here still. Here is the East roster. Irving, DeRozan, LeBron James, the Greek Freak, and Butler are your East starters. In the West, oh, it's solid too. Curry, Harden, Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis. So, I think I know where you're going to go with this. We'll get to our MVP for this game predictions in a second, but what are you most excited about for the 66th NBA All-Star Game here tonight?
Everyone's talking Durant and Westbrook, and let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to speak at the 2:33 mark of the third quarter. They're going to exchange 4 words and 1 handshake. No, they're not going to talk. They seriously aren't. And if this video by Chris Haynes earlier this weekend is any indication, it's clear they're sort of going to avoid each other because it's a 9-year relationship. It's not going to be healed in 7 months. And this locker room here shows that they're going to be on opposite sides. We just saw Kevin Durant's jersey on the one side with the 4 Warriors and Russell Westbrook's tucked into the corner here on the far right.
You
That's
don't think
Westbrook.
they're going to talk at all?
They're not.
until
They-
the
you just
2:33
saw our
mark.
video there. They're not going to talk.
So you also then I guess don't think
If
that
there's-
Steve Kerr, if he plays all 4 Warriors together, he doesn't make Westbrook the 5th to give sort of the fans what we all
Doesn't mean
wanna
you have to
see?
talk. A lot of teammates don't talk if they're on the floor together.
I really want to see if the
Fair.
communication is there still on the court. Let's say Durant's on a fast break. Westbrook's got the ball in his hands. Does he throw him the alley-oop or not? Or does he take himself, maybe pull
I
up
mean,
for a
I sort
three-pointer?
of hope this happens,
Yeah.
or at least we get the opportunity to see it happen if they're both on the court at the same time.
They're not going to ice each other out by any means. They're
But
not-
you just don't think there's going to be what's
it's just
up,
too
man?
soon. It's still too soon. It's
too raw.
It's 9
I think-
years of relationship.
I think because they played that hostile game in Oklahoma City just on the weekend, it sort of brought out those emotions
Sure.
a little more because it was a pretty tense game. So they're probably still got a little bit of healing to do from that. But if they do play together, I don't think you're going to see them ignore each other. I think they'll pass the ball if the other guy's open.
See, I'm with Tess. I think they're going to ignore each other. To me, it's pretty clear Russ has no interest in rekindling any sort of friendship at this point. Durant, I don't think he's going to try and force it. I think we're going to get pretty hyped about these two possibly having any sort of run-in on the court, and there's nothing going to be there. Maybe they'll play together, but if they don't play together, it'll be pretty obvious because that's what everybody's going to be looking for. So I think
for sure.
Steve Kerr will give us a little taste of it.
I think he gives us a taste of it, too. I mean, this may be the most sort of anticipated, I guess, sort of
Story.
interaction, a story going into an All-Star game since what? Maybe like 2005 when Shaq and Kobe were going to finally sort of come together. Now, it was a different situation because, you know, they had their beef, they had their split, and they were on different teams
Right.
in the All-Star game, but everyone was wondering, like, will they even say hi? How will that go down? And now it's even sort of odder because they're on the same team in Westbrook and Durant. Well, we'll find out soon enough, obviously, with that. Let's get to our MVP picks for this game, though. Here's who everyone's taking, and the fans as well. Wow, we're all over the board here.
Definitely.
Got Taz taking the homeboy in Anthony Davis. Lee and the fans going Russell Westbrook, expecting his third straight All-Star
Yeah.
MVP. Trey, you like LeBron James? That would be. He's got a couple of those already as
The
well.
only East guy of
yeah,
all of us.
yeah, and I'll take James Harden.
Okay.
But why Russell Westbrook? Let's start with you.
Does anyone have any more motivation than Russell Westbrook coming into this game? First of all, he was snubbed in his own eyes as a starter, so he's coming off the bench.
Right.
Obviously, the whole storyline, as we just discussed there with the Warriors and Kevin Durant. And this is the sort of guy who doesn't ever play an exhibition game. He plays every
Sure.
single game to win. And even though it's a meaningless game in the grand scheme of things, to get the MVP trophy over his teammates in the Golden State Warriors guys or whoever on that Western Conference would be a small victory for him. And, you know, I mean, he's a two-time MVP, so I think he can do it again.
You took him last year.
Yes, I did.
If I remember correctly, to win this, and that obviously came true. You like Anthony Davis here, obviously from the Pelicans in his own arena.
Yeah, I keep voting against Russell Westbrook. It's a dumb move,
Yeah.
but I think 1 year it's going to pay off, so I'm going to keep doing it. Russell Westbrook 3 in a row, I think that's a fair question. Maybe he's softened a little bit since playing against KD. I know, it's another dumb thing to say. That being said, Anthony Davis said he's going to shoot every time he gets the ball today because he wants this MVP in his home arena. He played in the 2014 game, which was in New Orleans. He had 10 points in 9 minutes. He was firing. I think he's going to fire even more today. And I think it's going to come from the West side because I think the West
The
is
better
going to
team.
come out victorious. Whoever has the most points likely to win.
Yeah, I like that pick because sometimes you see in these games the hometown guy, the other teammates, they almost
Yeah.
push for him,
Get him
to
going.
get those numbers, to get the buckets, to get that MVP.
Kobe got it in 2011.
Yeah, it's happened for sure. I believe
last one.
Karl Malone
Yeah.
and John Stockton picked it up when it was in Salt Lake City as well. Your pick?
LeBron, you know, I think LeBron just likes to occasionally remind everybody that he's still the best player in the league.
No doubt.
It happened in the finals. We've heard him, like when Steph Curry was getting his back-to-back MVPs, saying, yeah, he was the MVP this year, but over the course of, you know, the entire NBA career I've had, I'm still the best player. And I
Right.
just think that as one of the elder statesmen this year, he's the second oldest guy besides LeBron. He just would like to go out there, put on a little bit of a show. He also knows his history. Only 5 guys have won 3 or more MVPs. He's got 2 of them. He's chasing guys like Kobe and Jordan to get 3 or more. And he also hasn't won an All-Star MVP since 2008, which was right here in
Wow,
New
it's
Orleans.
been a while.
Yeah, I know. It seems like LeBron wins All-Star MVP pretty often, but only 2 times, which not too surprising. There's a lot of great players
Yeah.
in the NBA, but maybe he'd like to rekindle some flames here in NOLA.
The other thing you got going in your favor is Brad Stevens is the coach. He's going to want LeBron playing heavy.
Got to tire him out.
48 minutes,
48
yeah.
minutes.
So he's going to
tire
be
him
on the
out.
court playing a lot, and he's probably going to have the ball in his hands a lot. So it could work in your favor.
You obviously probably would need an East victory
Yeah.
from LeBron.
Can that
That's the
happen?
tough
That's
part,
the
I would say.
question.
We will find out. Yeah, not too long from now. The 66th annual NBA All-Star Game here in the Smoothie King Center. We got lots more still to come on the starters tonight. We're going to break down the good, the bad, and the drones from All-Star Saturday night festivities. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Starters All-Star Special here live from the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, getting you set for the big All-Star game tonight, just over yonder. Before we get to Sunday night's game, though, and I know we talked about it a little bit, we got to look back at Saturday night and the festivities, all of the events. We'll get to the dunk contest because there's a lot to talk about with that, a lot to unpack with that. But quickly, the skills challenge, once again, another big in Kristaps Porzingis wins this thing. We all took the smalls, be it Isaiah Thomas or John Wall, to win this thing, and in the end, Kristaps takes it home.
I love how Kristaps came out. He was flying.
He's fast.
Yeah.
He is
just
fast.
fast.
Yeah, yeah.
He literally is fast. A 7'3" guy is not slow whatsoever. And he wanted it real bad. I thought it was really cool to see. He wanted the Rising Stars Challenge MVP. He wanted to win this. He's going to be in the All-Star game for a long time. I just love the energy for the big guy. Some guys were, going through the motions a touch.
Well, the Bigs wanted
That guy
more.
was flying.
Yeah, the Bigs seemed to want it more for obviously 2 years in a row having won it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Joker was
Well,
Kinda moping.
maybe besides the
Sure, but next year I'm definitely picking a big because exactly like you guys are saying, they're clearly skilled enough to win this thing.
Yeah.
They've won
Right.
it the 2 years they've done it, and they care about it more because it's fun to just be a big guy showing up the little guys doing the little guy things.
Moving on to the three-point contest. Lee, your favorite.
The best event of the weekend. for
Trey,
sure.
you picked Eric Gordon to win this thing. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, though, on his form, because he took his time,
Yeah,
especially in that first round when he put up the highest score of the night.
Yeah, his style is very slow. He doesn't get a lot of leg into his movement. He just sort of grabs the ball and sort of
Look
flings
how
it up there. I
casual
know,
it is.
and I thought he wasn't going to finish to even
I
do
think
all
a
his
lot of
shots
people
off.
thought
I
that,
think
yeah.
I think in the first round he actually didn't quite get that last ball off it. It didn't matter. He was on 24 by then anyway. But it's effective. You know, he doesn't have a lot of movement in there, but it's smooth, it's consistent, it's rhythmic. And, you know, he's got good mechanics, and that's why you're seeing him having such a great season, though, this year. Like, he doesn't, you know, there's not a lot of whole body movement in there. It's just smooth and efficient.
Sort of fitting for a team that feels like they shoot 100 three-pointers a game in the Rockets for the player from that team to win three-point contests. Makes sense.
Yeah, and
Just
it's
for this
probably
year.
an easier shot for him because the Rockets seem to take all of their threes from 2 steps outside of the arc
Yeah, good
anyway.
point.
So this one, he's another 6 feet closer. It's like a pull-up jumper.
Good point. I think one of the best moments, correct me if I'm wrong, from last night, Saturday night festivities was the Sager shootout, which I thought was so awesome. Ernie Johnson, obviously of TNT, comes out there. He brings out 3 of the three-point finalists and invites other stars then to help raise money.
Reg.
This is one of the biggest pops of the night when Reggie stood up and
yeah.
came out on the
So
court.
good. And then, of course, other players come out, some celebrities.
Oh, hang time.
And so every shot made, $10K to the Sager Strong Foundation, which was just like, I loved that moment when everyone was just gunning away at the end. Steph then, unfortunately, did knock down the half-court shot, put some pressure on himself, saying he only needed 3 shots to do it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest shocks of the weekend.
Yeah, I think he was shocked with a couple of those not dropping. But then we had this great moment with Shaq raising one of Sag's kids. $500,000. That was a really, really cool moment.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome to be in the arena for that and to experience it because everyone was just up, clapping, cheering, and enjoying it.
That was a great moment. Now let's get to the dunk contest. It was a little disappointing, to say the least. And I think we need to start with the drone dunk because Aaron Gordon was the odds-on favorite to win this thing, coming in after what he did last year. Was Gordon's drone dunk a good idea that just went wrong, or was it a bad idea from the start, Tass? And you were predicting the drones. What do you think?
I know this man loves technology. He was using a hoverboard last year. I thought a drone was a long time coming in an NBA contest. Apparently, this was the worst performance with the drone this week. He put a lot of work into it.
Right.
It just didn't happen on this night. Ben Golliver on SI had a long write-up. He watched him work with this drone all week. We're analyzing a drone here, and it didn't happen.
Hey,
it's unfortunate.
the drone did its part.
The drone did its
It was
part.
human error in this one.
Yeah, I think he's got the right to pull out a drone because he was so good last year. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And after that, the next dunk attempt, he was done. I thought he was deflated,
gassed.
1. Number 2, I don't know if the foot was okay. He injured his foot 10 days ago. We weren't certain whether or not he would participate, and this was his second attempt. And it didn't go all that well.
Well, you remember the air chair last year. They had all the things. This would have been a 12-foot high jump, right? And his head was basically above the rim. Last night it wasn't.
Yeah.
So maybe, he had the tender foot, I'm sure, probably played a part of it, but the drone definitely set the tone for the night.
Yeah, the drone set the tone.
The drone tone.
And he also had 7 dunks last year. It's like he had, I'm making excuses for him now, but it's like he had 2 dunk contests in last year's dunk contest, right?
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but I think the injury definitely played a part. And this just shows you, this dunk contest shows you how hard it is to put together 4 dunks. I mean, the other
Absolutely.
guys, Robinson, Derek Jones Jr. had 2 solid dunks each,
Yeah.
a couple 50s. For Derek Jones off the side of the backboard with Sexy Time and the Glenn Robinsons. But it's just a difficult task.
So how will this dunk contest be remembered? I mean, Glenn Robinson obviously wins the thing. Did 2 similar dunks in the jumping over people. They were great dunks. They really were, especially that first one that he put down. I think the crowd got a little into it because they're like, whoa. Yeah. Glenn Robinson's going to bring something here. It just felt like then we had so many people just doing the dunk over someone that it became a little too repetitive, and then there were a lot of missed dunks as well.
Yeah, you see one guy jump over people. You would think maybe you got to change something up, but you've practiced it for weeks and weeks. That you want to pull something out that's exciting, but I think the way this will be remembered is the one after Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine.
Right.
We're probably not going to remember Glenn Robinson III as a classic dunk contest champion, though. When you look back and see his first dunk, especially, that got the crowd pretty hyped. That will last for a while, I think.
He joins Fred Jones as a Pacer slam
Pacer
dunk
who won.
champion winner that you sometimes forget about, maybe. But we'll see. I mean, if he comes back and defends it. It's like, you're right, though. You bring up the Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon contest last year. What was amazing about that is that they kept hitting the dunk on the first go.
That's the
unbelievable part. That's exactly right. Because once you miss it, no matter what it is, drone, not a drone, going on your legs, if you miss the first one, the crowd, because we were in the building, it just goes, ugh. And it's just like, it's tough to bounce back from, I think.
It's contagious in a way like
Yeah,
that.
it is.
Like the first guy, especially because it was Aaron Gordon as well, the expectations were just so high on him coming in. When he couldn't nail it off the top, we just kind of thought, uh-oh, I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't flunk it in this one, but unfortunately it did. But anyway, that's what happens, you know.
Yeah.
That's what
Hey,
happens.
I told you to lower your
Yeah.
expectations for the dunk contest
Yeah.
weeks ago. I said you're never going to get as good as that
That's
this year
right.
at least, and hopefully people did.
We were judges for the D-League dunk contest
Right.
earlier in the day, and you're right. If you don't hit it on the first one, we have 6-second attention spans. We're trying to film an Instagram story. Oh, if you don't get the first one, oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all just upset after
Technology, man.
Gotta do
after
it
the
for the
first
gram.
upset doesn't go down. If the first one goes down, you automatically, if it's a dunk of those calibers,
Yeah.
it's probably a 9.
9 or 10.
Yeah.
even.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
it's unfortunate.
Well, some people are saying, guys, that we actually had the best dunk contest of the weekend. No offense to Glenn Robinson Jr. and Derek Jones Jr., Glenn Robinson III, excuse me, and all those guys, but it maybe was Taco versus Skeets. And if you missed it on Friday when I took home this unbelievable trophy, look at the size of it.
Kudos to editing, that's for sure.
We put together a little package of the top 5 dunks from the Taco versus Skeets dunk competition that everyone is claiming to be the dunk contest of the weekend. At number 5, it was Trays Around the World.
Yeah, I always like to try a tricky dunk, and I always think that the behind-the-back dunk in general is a little undervalued, so I thought I'd try my hand at it. Actually impressed Matt Bonner a little bit, mostly because he thought I did behind-the-back while I was in the air. But, you know, close enough.
Yeah,
That'll
close.
do.
Still
enough.
tough.
That's
Still
tough.
Yeah.
At number 4 on the top 5 starters dunks, it was my Ernie Johnson, Elevator Ernie Johnson, homage.
Are you related to Ernie?
I'm not. Yeah, a lot of people are saying I sort of looked like him here with the getup.
Maybe you are now.
Who's going to replicate this dunk in 30 years' time then?
Ooh,
the Skeets
interesting.
suit in the elevator. Ernie.
Oh.
I hadn't thought about that. So that's number 4. And as Bonner said, it was maybe the finger guns
Ernie loved this as well.
definitely helped.
Bonner loves finger guns.
It definitely does.
It sure does. All right. At number 3, yeah.
my brownies dunk. We're here in New Orleans, so I had to pull out the brownies. Unfortunately, today on our podcast on the drop, JD made a good point. Maybe I should have saved this for my final dunk.
Ooh,
I kicked it off, wanted to make a big splash.
jiggling
I
away.
guess that's a big splash there, but you know, hindsight is 20/20. This could have either won me the dunk contest at the end or lost it,
Right.
depending on your views of shaking it.
Yeah,
You went up and got it.
that's right. At number 2, it was my first dunk as well. It was called the mandatory white guy dunk because Bones had done this and Rex Chapman had done this. Behind the back. That's it.
yeah,
Throw it
nice
down.
dunk.
I still think that was my best dunk.
Did you get a 30 on that? Did you get 10s from all 3 judges?
There was no perfect dunks.
What the?
Wow.
in
I
our
gave you a
dunk
10
contest.
for that
You
for
guys
sure.
were tough judges. You did. Thank you.
No,
Taz.
you guys barely left any points on the board. You guys
That's
were
true.
That's
rolling.
why it was the best dunk contest of the weekend. But at number 1, it was the one that ultimately won it for me. It was over the wall, over
That's
Donald
nice.
Trump. He had the wall. I said, I'm going over it, baby. You can build it. I don't care how high it is. And then Trump took over.
That was tremendous. That was the greatest dunk in the history of the dunk contest. And by an immigrant as well, I might say. Give him a 10. Give him a 20. Even with my little hands, he can count to 20. That was the greatest dunk I've ever seen in the history of the world. It's greatest. Look at all the fans here. There's a million people here watching. It's incredible.
So there it is. The top 5 dunks from the starters dunk contest.
I love
One
the
for the
wind
ages.
through his hair.
Yeah,
That's
watch
great.
the doinker here.
Doink.
Doink.
Yes.
Got you, Trump. And Lee only gave me an 8 for that because he couldn't breathe in the mask.
Yeah, I
What a risk to
justified.
take.
All right, lots more still to come. When we come back, whoa! Guy Fieri is in the building, and he will join us live on the starter set. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Starters All-Star Special here, Sunday edition, live from New Orleans. And we are happy to be joined by restaurateur, author, game show host, and the mayor of Flavortown, Guy Fieri. Guy, thanks so much for joining us.
The mayor of Flavortown.
Yeah, man.
That's now in the stand. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flavortown didn't start off as any real. I think people think it might be a real
I
place.
think they
now.
do.
It might be a real place by now.
I think you're absolutely right. Well, look, you're here for the All-Star festivities.
Yeah.
How long you been an NBA fan? I mean, you're here. You must be a huge
Well,
NBA fan.
always being an NBA fan as a kid, and there was that dry spell of not being able to afford tickets in college and all that, no
Sure.
time to go. But my youngest son, Ryder, is a huge basketball fan, and so he's really got the whole family into it.
Okay.
And we went to the first NBA All-Stars was last year in Toronto,
All
and if
right.
we could survive that cold,
Oh, it was
you know,
cold.
It was
We're
freezing.
sorry. We're sorry.
But what a blast, man.
It was a great
And
time.
I've told folks this. I've been to a lot of great sporting events. This, to me, is the best package weekend you can find. I mean, I'm the unofficial ambassador telling people about coming to the All-Star game. It's great.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What's your favorite team then? Are you a Warriors fan?
We're Warriors
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
We're Warriors fans, and it's great. Of course, everybody likes to be when you're in the prime of
Sure.
things, and getting KD, come on.
Well, funny you mentioned that. There was a story this summer that you might have played a little part in KD coming to join your favorite team. How'd that go down?
We were just talking about that last night. You know what? I'd met KD at the Super Bowl a couple years prior, and there was talk when he was, we knew his contract was coming up, and so I was kind of giving my little pitch. And I know his agent, and so I was just joking with his agent. I said, "Listen, look how great it would be if he came to Northern California, how this would be, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah." Well, I brought it up in some interview talking about that, and then someone picked it up and ran with it. And I got a text from the Warriors, and they said, so are you the unofficial scout now?
Right.
Nice little inside joke.
Another one to add to the resume.
Yeah, we'll add
We
that
should
down.
put that
Warriors-
basketball
Yeah.
scout
Warriors-
also. Yeah.
Exactly. Look, this might be a tough question. But
Okay.
Who do you think is the Guy Fieri of the NBA?
Oh, jeez.
Who's got
On the spot.
Style.
the style, the
Personality.
personality?
Charisma.
You want to know who I really think it is?
Yes.
All right.
And he's a guy that I really admire. I think Charles Barkley.
Interesting.
I think that's totally
Are you
on the line.
are you outspoken?
I'm not as outspoken as Sir Charles.
Okay.
But I think that Charles he's got so much flair, so much personality, or Shaq. I mean, Shaq's another one of the great guys I really respect. He's funny. Really loves people. He really engages with all of his fans,
Yep.
especially kids. All those components. We talk about food every time I see him. We talk about food.
I can believe that.
And so I think it kind of goes around. I would say he'd be a good pick.
That's a good pick. I don't mind that.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't. I'm impressed. Before we get to a fun little game here, one more. Triple D,
Yes.
diners, drive-ins, drives.
Close enough.
Dives,
All right.
excuse me.
It's all right. Listen,
Hey,
the reason
it's been
we
a
call
long week.
Listen, the reason we call it Triple D is because when I first started doing the show, and I had to wrap the show with, that's all right here right now, diners, driving.
Yeah.
I couldn't
You-
get it
oh,
right.
yeah.
I couldn't get it right, so I just looked at the producer and I go, can I just say Triple D? It's like, I don't
Brilliant.
know about Triple D if it'll work. I mean, that was back in the beginning.
Right.
And that's when, and then it just goes off the rails after that.
Well, what would be, you think, the triple D of basketball? What would be the 3 Ds?
There's a lot of D.
Defense.
Like dunks.
Dribble.
Got
Dunks, yeah. Dunks, defense, and debacle.
Nice.
Things
Okay.
go off the
And
rails.
please don't ask me any hard questions. I was
We're
out
done.
late.
You're killing it.
Yeah,
We're done.
I was
You're killing
out.
it. You're
It's
killing
just- That's a wrap.
No,
Thanks-
no. We
thanks,
got
man.
to play a little game here.
Oh, this is not going to be good.
No. as
I
said-
know I should have brought Ryder because this has anything to do
No.
with
No.
You're going to kill this.
Staying in your alley.
As I said, you're the mayor of Flavortown.
Yes.
So we are going to play a little game here on the starters called Flavortown or Letdown. All right. So we're going to give you something here. We're going to give you a situation, and you are going to.
What is going
If you
on?
like it, we're taking the bus to Flavortown, and if you don't like it, it's obviously a letdown.
Okay.
So. You were in the building last night
Yeah.
for the dunk contest. Let's start with that. The 2017 dunk contest,
Yeah.
Flavortown or Letdown?
Gosh, you put me on the spot, and I'll tell you. One, there's no way in the world I could ever do any level of an idea of what those guys do at the
I wish
ball.
I could say the
Okay?
same. I wish I could say the
Yes,
same.
well,
I am-
evidently you've been-
I'm a dunk champ.
You've been rolling it.
Right.
And I at Chuck E. Cheese, I'm good also. On
On the 8-foot rim, yeah.
But I got to say, it's a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
I was-
A lot of misses.
Compared to
I-
last year.
Oh, last year was, I think
Maybe
that
the
was-
best.
That was one of the best dunks. You know what I'd like to see the dunks go back to is just old school, heavy hitting, real deal dunks.
Yeah.
Not with as much setup and just running it and gunning it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, it's their choice. They're
Yeah.
the superstars. I think they're just brave to come out and do it in the first place.
So much pressure, obviously, to hit on the first go. All right, next one. Back in 2015, I believe it was, we showed it on the starters. We caught Spencer Dinwiddie snacking on the sidelines during a game.
There he is.
Okay?
Yeah, just
Stealing a little bite here.
So he grabs a little bite.
maybe a little chocolate bar, power bar.
Flavortown or letdown, eating during a game?
Oh, that's all Flavortown right there. That's all Flavortown. I
Right.
think that might have been catered by Flavortown. I don't know. That's Flavortown caterers might have come in there. Listen, whatever it takes. I was talking to my buddy Aaron Sanchez, who's got a great restaurant here called Johnny Sanchez.
I went yesterday.
Oh,
fantastic.
Phenomenal. So he was in the celebrity game. And he was laughing about me playing in L.A. He says, "You're going to do it?" And I said, "I don't know." And he goes,
come on. You
"Bro,"
gotta.
he said, "let me tell you, the amount of running," he says, "the amount of endurance that it takes." So you know what? If they want to have flambe carts at the sideline, I mean, that's their prerogative. They can do whatever.
All right, let's go rapid fire with a couple more here. Big story from this weekend. Kyrie Irving saying the earth is flat. Flavortown or letdown?
I don't know the whole backstory of it. I just saw the news on my phone and didn't get a chance to read it. But you know what? He's the way he plays and the way he does things. If he wants to call it flat, I'll listen to the story.
Oh, no. Okay. Next one here again, rapid fire. Lee here likes to put pickled ginger on pesto. Flavortown or letdown? Pickled ginger.
What do you do before you eat?
Well, I work out sometimes, but I just really like ginger on a lot of things. So good for you.
I think
just like to add it in.
I think ginger, not the pink ginger, but the natural.
No, not the pink one. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, all right. I'll cook
go
it
to
for you
I'll go to
sometime.
Flavortown.
The worst is what he does after he eats, to be honest with you.
Well, I want to know what got him into the point, because when people start really mixing things up with those kind of flavors, usually there's some enhancement in there somewhere. But I didn't know.
I just like to eat a lot of ginger with a lot of things. So sometimes you just have to plonk it straight on there
Plonk
rather
it.
than dice it in there. Yeah, and then just scoop it up.
I'm with it.
He's
All
going
right,
to Flavortown.
smart
You guys are
man.
going to Flavortown. I'm so happy we asked you this next one. Sunglasses indoors, Flavortown or letdown?
Let me. In New Orleans, when you got in a little bit later than you should have,
Yep.
it's sunglasses, it's Flavortown all day.
Smart man.
Did I see you with a second
smart.
pair of sunglasses in your hands
so
a second
Here's
ago?
the funny thing. I knew you were going to bring that up.
Where did they go?
So my son, I have an 11-year-old son named Ryder. Okay, and so Ryder just went down to the New Era store with my older son, and these are some really these beautiful glasses
Those
that
are
somebody
nice.
gave me.
Yeah.
Well, he likes to wear them. These are the ones he likes to wear. So I'm cool with wearing them, but I'm not going to send him in the streets of New Orleans with these shades. So I can't have them wrong.
Oh,
so I had to
nice.
take them. But I knew
Good
when I
dad
walked
move.
up here and saw you guys, you're going to
We
bring
would
this
say
up.
that. Of course we would. All right, final one here.
Okay.
And we do this with every guest usually. Justin Bieber's crossover. This is a legendary clip on the starters. Bieber,
Watch,
We show it to everyone
just
that
watch
comes
this
by.
move. Watch the dribble
He
here.
doesn't stop.
1,
Boop,
2,
boop,
3,
boop,
4,
boop,
5,
boop,
6,
boop,
7,
boop,
8, 9. Oh, fake and
Look at that
finish,
defense.
And the
and
shot.
then the look.
The stare down.
Flavortown or letdown?
I gotta get. I mean, I gotta give it. It broke my ankles. I would have been. I would have gone right to the. I would be over on the other side. I played basketball with my kid the other day. They had the father-son tournament.
Yeah.
At the end of their season,
Uh-oh.
worked. I was so tired after that hour of running up and down the court. I said to the coach, I go, "What about half court next year?" And he
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, we got some food here for everybody. We're all starving.
All right.
Boy, do you guys really cater it out.
Yeah.
So
there you-
please let me put it on the table
Yeah.
for everybody to enjoy.
No expense
You want me
spared.
to bring you guys some cocktails? Or what?
That
the
daiquiri's
best,
right
man.
there. Guy, we can't thank you enough for coming
Hey,
on. We really appreciate it.
You guys have got everybody's ear right now, man. Everyone I was telling I was coming on said, you're going to love it.
all right,
Thank you.
appreciate
Thanks
you.
so
And
much.
we're gonna see
Thank
you
you.
in L.A. I hope you're in the celebrity game.
You got a year to train.
It's going to be a full year.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to the Starters, live from the Smoothie King Center here as we get set for the All-Star game here on Sunday night. We've been teasing it for what feels like weeks, and that is Lee's feature on the 1987 NBA All-Star game. Some say, he says, the greatest game ever played. It's the 30th anniversary, Lee.
Yeah, well, that's right. 30 years after that game happened, and long-time viewers and listeners of our show know that that was the first game that I ever saw, first NBA game, and it changed my life.
Right.
So I went out on the road to Dallas and to Phoenix to speak to Tom and Rolando and Isaiah in Atlanta to talk about that game. This is Australia, 30 years ago. And that's me. At age 11, I got hold of the 1987 All-Star game on VHS. It was the first NBA game I'd ever seen, and it blew my mind. Magic, Bird, MJ, Isaiah, McHale, Dr. J, the legends were all there to play. But here's the moment I'll never forget. No time left on the clock, the West down by 2. Rolando Blackman at the free throw line, Zeke in the background talking trash, and Rose sending the game to overtime screaming, "Confidence, baby, confidence!" On the 30th anniversary of the '87 All-Star Game, I set out to get the story behind one of the most iconic moments in All-Star history. It felt to me, watching it, that even though it was an exhibition game, everyone wanted to win. No one wanted to concede any ground.
No, it's a little bit different. We were getting inside of everyone's jock and making sure that you earned your all-star spot. I mean, it was a game, and it was a tough game to play with real defense.
Back then, they played hard, and they wanted to win the basketball games. It was really, really competitive between the East and the West.
You know, it was an exhibition game. However, we all came to the game, and all of us were highly competitive.
5 minutes to go. The West is down by 12. Pat Riley put you back in. You guys go on a big run. Did you think it was possible at that stage that you were going to come back and make it a close contest?
Absolutely. You know, we had Magic Johnson, and we had guys in the game, Rolando Blackman, myself, who wanted to run.
3 seconds to go. Kevin McHale actually misses a shot. Moses gets a big tip in. The East take the lead, and the West call a timeout. Pat Riley calls a timeout. What was the play he said in the huddle? What was the play he drew up?
Well, the main factor was that he had a play that had different options of Magic coming and get the ball at the top. He had the ball going to different areas of the court so that people could have a chance to turn around and move. I was coming through the last option on the side to being able to, if everybody was guarded, to come up to the side and get the ball. And lo and behold, I popped hard, got the basketball, turned, saw Bird, and did what I was supposed to do, which was go straight to the bucket and see if I could put the ball in the hole, and got attacked by 3 players and got slammed.
A foul is called with no time remaining.
I thought he was going to pump and then take it back.
Right.
But he didn't take it back because I was trying to go behind him and smack it. But I think I smacked him in the head.
When did you realize that you had to hit 2 free throws to save the game?
As soon as the foul was made and I heard the buzzer simultaneously go off. It's exactly why I just went into a cocoon myself. I understood what was happening, and you could see me. I can remember the time walking to the free throw line, looking down at the ground, trying to compose myself.
He's the guy that folds his socks. You know, everything's got to be neatly tucked in. Everything's got to be tight. You know, he's got to, you know, and the seams on the ball has got to be right. His fingernails got to be cut right. I mean, everything has to be just like perfect.
Right. Putting my hand on my forehead to make sure that my fingertips were wet so the ball would grip. Just going through the process of getting myself ready to put these free throws down while hearing all kinds of stuff from Isaiah.
If I could just rattle him a little bit, right? Yeah. And Magic knows what I'm trying to do because everybody knows how Roe is. Yeah.
Could you hear Isaiah what he was saying, or was it just sort of noise and you just could hear that familiar voice even if you couldn't actually make out what he was?
No. I heard the words that he was saying, and some of them were very, very tough for sure.
And he's like dead serious. I mean, not giving me no rhythm, no eye contact, and nothing.
Sometimes he'd be yelling and screaming, and Magic would be covering up his mouth, going, whoa,
forget him, Ro. Don't listen to him, Ro. You gonna knock it down. Knock him down, baby. Knock him down, Ro.
When no one's on the court, it's a little bit of a different feel. So I was just trying to concentrate on the rim, put the basketball up to the circle that I see, making sure that it's an arc form, that I can get to the point I'm looking at, release the basketball up and over, and it hit the front, hit the back, and jumped in. Boom, I knew I had the distance then.
And his face was like,
yeah. As soon as I finished that, I could hear him and Magic laughing loud. It was a special time, but also it was something that I knew that my life was on the line. I knew it then, and I wanted to make sure that I come through.
But that's how competitive we were, but yet that's how much fun we wanted to have.
When you get the second one, it was an important feat because you can feel again. It was the confidence or nerves. Which one was it going to be? Confidence or nerves? So I decided to go confidence, baby, confidence. In my head, confidence, baby, confidence, baby, confidence, confidence.
It was like, I'm not listening to anybody. I'm going to block it out. I'm going to focus. I'm just going to knock this free throw down.
As I did the dribbles, put the basketball up, and I knew I had the distance. As soon as I released it, I said, confidence, baby.
It's just me, you, in the basket. Oh, baby, yeah.
I let out a yell of confidence because I wanted to release all the pressure. It was so much inside of me built up. Turned around and went to the bench, and it was so much fun to get all the high fives from some of the greatest players that have ever played the game. So it was a special, special time, believe me.
Well, everybody's so excited. I mean, so excited. Like I had mentioned, the East had been kind of dominating the All-Star games, and we had an opportunity now to go into overtime with momentum on our side.
And for me, it was just a special time simply because when you get into that moment and you're able to come through, it just galvanizes everything. It puts a stamp on the person that you are and the player that you are in that instance.
Well, you were under pressure 30 years ago and you came through in the clutch. What if I put you under pressure right now and we go out into the court and you have to hit 2 more free throws? Do you think you can do it?
I still have the stroke. I still can stroke. I still have the stroke. I can shoot the basketball.
Well, I've been waiting 30 years for this, Ro. I've got a ball. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Let's go take it out, man. Let's go do our thing. There's 2 shots to make it. Your life is on the line. Your life is on the line.
Isaiah's in the background. Shut him up. Shut him up. Magic's blocking out. What's going to happen?
Confidence, baby. Confidence!
Do you think I can do it? Do you think I can replicate that moment?
Sure you can. All you got to do is concentrate on the things that you know. Up and over, keep it straight, look at a point, and put a circle over it into the basket. Concentrate on that only. Confidence, 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 baby. Confidence, confidence.
Confidence, baby, confidence!
Release all that tension. You can feel the release.
Thanks so much, man.
Pleasure's mine.
Oh my goodness!
Incredible.
That is one of my favorite things we've ever put on the show. That was unbelievable.
Well, first off, I just want to say quickly thank you to JD and Matt, our producers here, who helped me put that together.
So
Everyone
good.
who was involved in the production and editing, fantastic.
So good.
Dallas, Phoenix, Isaiah, everyone, they were fantastic. Thank you so
The
much.
back and forth between Rolando Blackman and Isaiah talking about free throws was amazingly riveting. All right, when we come back, we're going to induct some more legends into the Starters All-Star Hall of Fame. All week long, we've been sharing and voting on the class of 2017 nominees for the Starters All-Star Hall of Fame, the hypothetical hall, which honors our favorite players and moments from All-Star weekends past. We have 3 new names to induct tonight, 3 different wings. We begin with the dunk wing of our All-Star Hall of Fame. A reminder of who's already in. We inducted them last year. Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and Vince Carter. What a class.
Yeah, amazing.
They're in. That's a lot. But we're adding one more, and we have 4 nominees this year. We have the OG, Dr. J, 1976 ABA slam dunk champ. Jason Richardson,
Oh, yeah.
2-time dunk champ in 02-03, put on quite the performances, is a nominee. Nate Robinson is our only 3-time champion, 06, 09, and 2010, going over Dwight Howard to steal the victory in that one. And the final nominee, didn't have him last night, but Zach LaVine, your 2-time champ, 2015 and 16. We made our votes on the show. The people made their votes over on the Starters Facebook page, so it's time to find out who joins MJ, Neek, and Vince in the dunk wing of our All-Star Hall of Fame. For some reason, we have a giant envelope here. It just says dunk on it.
Jason Richardson.
Jason Richardson.
All right.
Congratulations to Jay Rich. Anyone upset by this, or makes sense?
No, I think people would say maybe we should have put in Zach LaVine, but I think we're doing our part to educate the kids here. Jason Richardson won back-to-back before Zach LaVine did it. LaVine's going to get in, but Jason Richardson just a little bit unremembered because he came so soon after Vince Carter, but watch his clips on YouTube. The guy's going between the legs off the glass. So much power, so much creativity. He was great.
I guess we're going through that era a little bit right now, post-Zach LaVine.
That's possible. So Jay Rich is in the Starters All-Star Hall of Fame. All right, moving over to the 3-point wing. Again, we have 3 already enshrined. We did it last year. It was the inaugural class where we were putting 3 in. We have Larry Bird,
legend,
Craig Hodges, and Steph Curry. A little controversial, but Lee helped him win that 3-point contest, so we put him in there. Only one more will join them this year, and our nominees, Jeff Hornacek, 2-time champ, 98 and 2000. Didn't have a contest in 99 because of the lockout. Mark Price, also a 2-time champ. Back-to-back years in 93, 94. He's a 3-point nominee. The bigger guy, Peja Stojakovic, 2-time champ in 02-03. Got a lot of back-to-back guys here.
That's a smooth stroke right there.
And our final nominee to possibly enshrine into the Starters All-Star Hall of Fame in the 3-point wing category, it's Jason Capono, went back-to-back in 07-08. So, who joins Larry Bird, Craig Hodges, and Steph Curry in the 3-point wing of the Starters All-Star Hall of Fame? Lily?
The winner is Jason Capono.
Jason Capono. I think this is the right pick.
All right.
I think it's the right pick. We talked about how he went in 3 contests, shot in 6 total rounds, and he averaged guys nearly 20 nearly 20 per round.
Yeah.
So he won 07 and 08 with huge final scores of 24 and 25.
2 different teams as well. That's
Oh,
very rare.
Oh, true.
Very, very
It
rare.
changes things.
Yeah, okay, for sure. So Jason Capono, we got 2 Jasons going in here.
Good year to be a Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Richardson and now Jason Capono, who goes into the 3-point wing. Finally, the hero's wing. This one's a bigger wing because you got on the court moments, off the court moments. We have 6 guys or moments, women I should also say, and Mariah Carey there already in. Rolando Blackman, confidence baby confidence. We just saw it. Magic Johnson, Jason Williams in the elbow pass, Marvin Gaye, the sexy national anthem, Mariah Carey in the Jordan dress, and Charles Barkley versus Dick
a
Bavetta in the
dual
race. So we
entry.
actually sort of have 7 in there.
Yeah.
Our 2017 hero nominees, Brent Barry in the 3-point dance in 2003.
Look at that salad. Look at that dance.
Look at the footwork there from Bones. Good stuff. He is a nominee. Chris Bosh, a nominee for the Heroes Wing. 3-time Shooting Stars champ.
Onyebashi.
He was so good at it, they just got rid of the event.
Yeah. He retired the event.
That's right. Absolutely right. Knocking him down from half. Tracy McGrady, the king of going off the backboard. He's a nominee in the Hero Wing.
Multiple times.
Didn't have to be a dunk either, apparently.
No, it just became his trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah, signature move.
And that was sort of cool about it. And our final nominee for the Heroes Wing, it's Shaquille O'Neal, who's already in our hall as the All-Star Artiste. It was sort of like a career or lifetime achievement,
yeah.
but he's a nominee here. So who joins them?
The
in
winner
Heroes
this
Wing?
time, Tracy McGrady.
Whoa!
Oh, a bit of an upset, I think, that one.
Yeah.
A little bit. I thought Shaq might have won this one.
Yeah, but for me, Tracy McGrady is a Hall of Fame caliber player. He led the league in scoring twice. He was an All-Star. He was All-NBA. And the first thing I think of is throwing the ball off the backboard to himself time after time. And like you guys said, this was his signature move. That's a pretty cool signature move.
I'm fine with this, but Chris Bosh was robbed.
It was snubbed, huh?
Yeah, Chris Bosh was robbed. I feel like this should have been his. Maybe next year he'll obviously still be up for induction, but Tracy McGrady in the end, 7-time NBA All-Star. A lot of those games, including him going off the backboard. Congrats to
Well done,
Reg,
everybody.
Jason Capono, Tracy
Yeah.
McGrady. Thanks to everyone for voting, by the way, on the Starters Facebook page. When we return, we're going to count down the top 10 dunkers to never actually win the dunk contest. So don't go anywhere. A little more from the Starters here, live in New Orleans.
I've never asked you this, but it's out because I was at the game in 2010. You guys are playing in Game 7. You're in LA, and I know because I have those games too, brother. So you know, but you guys had it right there, Kev. I mean, how often do you look at that and just think, you know, man, it was right there, and all it would have taken for you guys is 1 or 2 plays.
Like, it's the hardest game I ever played to date. And you know what's crazy? We knew we was going back in at like 9-minute mark, 10-minute mark, and Doc was like, hey, look, you know, Game 7, hey, I'm going with my money, I'm going with my troops. No worse feeling from when you are looking at your legs, telling your legs to move, telling whatever you can get out of your legs right now, please give me. It was the most tired I've ever been in a game.
The All-Star interview. Kevin Garnett sits down with Kevin McHale Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV. That looks absolutely awesome. It's
gonna be
clips
great,
we've
yeah.
seen from that.
Confirmed. It's absolutely awesome.
For sure. All right, well, it wouldn't be a Starters All-Star special, guys, without a top 10 list to count down.
Sure,
And
yeah.
This time we're counting down the top 10 dunkers to never actually win the dunk contest.
Yes.
And we start with Tracy McGrady, who we just put in the Starters All-Star
He's forgotten.
Hall of Fame, but he was unbelievable in the 2000 contest. He's obviously going up against his cuz there and Vince Carter. Tough to beat him.
Number 9, Sean Kemp, entered it 4 times in the early 90s. He was ridiculous.
Oh, man.
As a
so
bigger
much
guy,
power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skinny Kemp, bigger Kemp.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the first really big guys to go in the dunk contest.
Back to the 2000 contest, obviously the one Vince won. Steve Francis was phenomenal in this as well, as a smaller guy, showing off the hops.
Him and McGrady could have won so many other
Oh,
contests with this
absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Bad timing.
He had bounce. He had bounce in those legs.
At number 7, Amari Stoudemire, one of the most athletic power forwards we've ever seen in the game. 03 and 05. He was sexy time. He had some really, really great ones. I like that one.
I love that one, yeah.
Number 6, another big guy. Grandmama, Larry Johnson. Showing again, you can mix a little power into some of these dunks.
Incredible still how athletic he was for such a big guy. You know, how high he could jump.
Oh, yeah.
At number 5, Andre Iguodala. Many said he got robbed in this 2006 slam dunk contest against Nate Robinson. He was incredible. His only appearance in the slam dunk contest. He lost a tiebreak
That
to
one
Nate
was
Robinson.
crazy. That's a crazy one. Behind the back on the bounce.
At number 4, it's the Jet, Kenny Smith. Yes, he was in the dunk contest back in 1990. He had the between the legs.
yeah, nice,
off
Kenny.
the glass. Yeah, a little 360. Those were solid. Those were solid.
Creative.
A little Kenny love. JaVale McGee, the only 7-footer on this list. He did big men proud in 2011, his only appearance.
He almost made things look too easy. It was very weird. At number 2, DeMar DeRozan. No props needed, as Devlin would say. He had a couple great dunks in his 2 appearances in back-to-back years, 2010 and 11. We got the showstopper
this
here.
is the one.
I love this dunk. Oh, it's a good dunk.
And at number 1, Aaron Gordon, 2016. This was ridiculous. We went to tiebreaker after tiebreaker after tiebreaker against Zach LaVine because it was so good.
Yeah, it's like he basically won.
For sure.
They were like co-champs in the end. All right, that's it for us. Game time coming up next.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, even athletes do regular things.
What,
Make
pay
it a
for
double.
things?
Make it a double.
Winer's got it.